Welcome to the Solo Investor. Over the last few years, buying small businesses has exploded online. Buy a boring business, acquire cash flow, escape the 9 to 5, use SBA loans to build wealth. And honestly, the idea sounds incredible. Buy an existing business, take over the revenue, and slowly build financial freedom through ownership. But there is one major problem. Buying a business does not automatically buy you freedom. Sometimes it simply buys you responsibility. As investors, we are always searching for opportunities. Some opportunities are passive, others require active involvement. But every investment comes with requirements: time, capital, skill, stress, responsibility, and for younger investors or first-time buyers, those requirements matter even more. Because unlike large institutions, smaller investors do not have unlimited room for error. That is why small business acquisitions have become so attractive. Instead of building a company from scratch, you acquire something that already exists. Customers, revenue, and operations already exist, at least on paper. The internet has simplified acquisitions into a very clean story. Find a business, get financing, improve operations slightly, collect cash flow. And to be fair, there are people successfully doing this, but social media often removes the operational reality from the equation. Because what looks simple on a spreadsheet can become extremely complicated in real life. And that is where many first-time buyers get surprised. One of the biggest misconceptions about small business acquisitions is the belief that buying a business automatically creates freedom. But many small businesses are not passive assets. They are highly active operations. And in many cases, the owner is the reason the business works at all. The owner may be handling sales in the morning, solving staffing problems in the afternoon, and responding to customer issues late into the evening. Over time, the business becomes deeply connected to that person's energy, decision-making, and daily involvement. From the outside, the numbers can look attractive. Strong revenue, healthy cash flow, years of operating history. But numbers alone do not always show how dependent the business is on the owner. That is why one of the most important questions in acquisitions is simple. What happens if the owner steps away? For some businesses, operations continue smoothly because systems are strong. But for others, problems begin almost immediately. Customer service weakens. Employees lose direction. Sales slow down. Operational issues begin stacking up. This is where many first-time buyers realize something important. Sometimes they're not buying a scalable asset, they are buying responsibility. One of the most important lessons investors eventually learn is that cash flow and freedom are not automatically connected. A business can generate strong income while simultaneously consuming your life. A cleaning company may produce good margins, but constant staffing issues. A vending business may appear passive, but still requires route management, inventory tracking, and machine servicing. Even franchises can become misleading. Many people assume franchises automatically reduce risk. Sometimes they do, but they also introduce royalties, fees, operational restrictions, and performance expectations. In some cases, the owner simply buys themselves a highly structured job. One of the most overlooked parts of acquisitions is lifestyle fit. Many investors focus entirely on revenue and profit, but they rarely ask, how does this business fit my actual life? That question matters more than most people realize. A demanding service business may not fit someone already working full-time. A parent with young children may not want operational emergencies every weekend. A first-time buyer may underestimate how emotionally exhausting employee management can become over time. Businesses are not just numbers. Businesses are human systems, and human systems are messy. Now, despite all of this, small business acquisitions are still incredibly powerful opportunities. In fact, many wealthy individuals quietly built their financial lives through ordinary businesses, not flashy startups, not viral apps, not social media fame. Ordinary businesses, services, distributions, maintenance operations, local B2B services. The reason is simple. Strong businesses generate cash flow, and cash flow creates optionality. Optionality allows investors to reinvest, acquire additional assets, reduce dependence on employment, and slowly build ownership systems over time. That is the real attraction: ownership. A smart acquisition should be evaluated beyond revenue alone. The real questions are deeper. Can the business operate without the owner being involved every minute of the day? Are systems documented and transferable? Does the business survive employee turnover? Or, most importantly, does ownership compound over time? These are just some of the questions a first time buyer should be able to answer. The best businesses slowly become stronger through customer relationships, operational efficiency, and recurring trust. That is what long term ownership looks like. One of the biggest mistakes new buyers make is expecting their first business to immediately create financial freedom. But honestly, the first acquisition may simply become education. Expensive education, perhaps, but still education. Because ownership teaches lessons that cannot fully be learned online: leadership, operations, customer psychology, financial pressure, decision making. At some point, ownership stops being theoretical and becomes real. The first business may not buy freedom, but if approached correctly, it may buy experience, and experience compounds. Over time, that experience may become the real asset, because the goal is not simply to escape work overnight. The goal is to gradually build systems where income becomes less dependent on a single paycheck and more connected to ownership. Small business acquisitions can absolutely become part of that path, but only when approached with realism instead of hype. Because ownership is powerful, but ownership also comes with responsibility, and understanding that difference may be what separates long-term investors from short-term dreamers. Thanks for watching. This is The Solo Investor.